Hey guys, just doing a quick sound check. Just let me know how we're going. "37 people. I'm sorry about the level 3 trig, folks. I know some of you wanted level 3 trig, but unfortunately, I just got to do it tomorrow. Wait, is my sound working? Or am I just talking to myself? No? Let's check this. Hang on. Well, we can change it up if you want. I mean, this is what I got somebody that sent this to me, and then they wanted me to go through this question. It's kind of hard for me at the moment to kind of just make up questions, but well, yeah. I mean, we've got, what is it? This is the question we're gonna work through. So if you have done this question, I do apologize. So I'm gonna kind of just go through this question now, just like last week. Do we want me to go? I'm just going to work through this question. I know that people do things slightly differently, so we can kind of, what do you call it? Just check the answers as you go along. So what I'll do is, if you can actually maybe take a screenshot of this, if you're going to work with this question with me, I'm sorry, that is the best kind of quality I have for this particular one. So if you could maybe take a screenshot, and then I'll actually go through this question. Now I'm hoping to be done this question in about maybe 30 to 40 minutes, just because I've got more videos to make after this. So Colette Mole, I think I'm hoping I can be able to do that tomorrow. I just need to go do some revision first, and right now I'm just not having enough time at school to do this. So if not, I might just have to start at like 8:30 tomorrow, but I might actually need half an hour to just kind of revise everything, and then we'll go through that. Sukneet, it was simple. It was just like there were 10, like I think it was like 539 people chose level 2, and then 529 people chose level 3. So that was it. That's why I decided to do level 2. And plus, I needed some questions as well. So, all right. Anyway, so we're gonna get started with this question. All right. So with this question, what we've got here is, I think the first one is kind of nice and simple. Like, yeah, there's an extra part there. So they're basically saying school is blah blah blah, raising some money. Bio will only buy if it can be subdivided into 4 sections. Bio will not, blah, blah, and they're not triangular. Okay, so kind of to give you an idea, the first thing we need to do is we need to work out the area of this particular land. Once we work out the area of the land, we need to adjust it to find out, to see if it's actually 400 or not. At least 400. So at some point we've got to make this area 400. And also, this is a bit of a weird one. It actually says that the buyer is not going to buy if all sections are triangular. So yeah, I mean, like, we've got to trying to figure out how we're going to make this into 4 sections that are not triangular as well. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so looking at task, the first bullet point, it is asking us to find the length of the pipeline running through the land. So that is basically this green line here, I think. Yep, line between A and C, it says that here. So that's part 1. Part 2, what I might do is I might actually figure out what the area is, to figure out whether we can actually do this or not. And then after that, part 3 is we're going to divide this into 4 sections. See you later, Sarah. Okay, so let's do part 1 first. Now with part 1, I'm going to be looking at the bottom triangle. And the bottom triangle, what I've got here is just kind of breaking this up. I have got 60 degrees, I've got 40, and I've got 50. And basically this line right here is AC at the moment. So this is what I've got to actually figure out. So first step is to figure out what AC is. And to do this, I am going to use the cosine rule. And I'm going to label all my sides here. So this is going to be angle C. Or angle C? No, we can do angle A actually. Let's do angle A. So we've got A. Actually, you know what I want to do? Before I do that, I'm going to write down the cosine rule first. Alright, so with the cosine rule, what I've got here is A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. So what I'm going to do is, because I want A to be the angle, that's going to be capital A, this is little a, this is little b, and this is little c. So now I've got to substitute it. So I'm going to get A squared equals 40 squared plus 50 squared minus 2 times 40 times 50 times cos of 60 degrees. So what we want to make sure is, especially if you are working with a calculator, is especially with the graphics calculator, you might have to reset your calculator. So if you do reset your calculator, make sure that you set up your calculator to degrees mode for this. So we're going to go down and change it to degrees. And now we're going to work this out. So we're going to go 40 squared plus 50 squared. I'm going to see, no, I've got to multiply minus, what do we got? 2 times 40 times 50. Just going to put that times again, times sine 60. All right, so what we've got is 635. Remember that we've got to take square root of this. I'm going to get to that in a second. Poster God. I don't want to read that first part of it, but right. So we've got about 25. Really? Is that 60, 25? 60 degrees is going to be that way. 25 at 40 and 50. Interesting. Have I done something wrong here? 40 squared, 50 squared, 240, 50, sine 60. No, that all looks right. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down this as A is equal to 25.22. And like I said last week, what's really good idea to do is to actually store this value, right? So I'm going to store this. I'm going to click on this little arrow here. I'm going to store this, and I'm going to put it as alpha A. So basically, anytime I want this particular measurement, I could just click on alpha A, and that's going to give me my full answer. So I'm not like rounding it off early, but in the paper I'm writing it as the rounded answer, but when I'm doing my calculations, I am actually using the proper value here. All right, so what I'm also going to do is I'm actually going to work out the area of this particular triangle, because I'm already here and I don't want to go back and actually do this. So I'm going to work out the area on the side here. So area of this triangle is equal to half AB sine C. So I'm just going to put like a little note for me that capital A is equal to 25.217 and so on. This is just for me to remind myself. So here I've got half times 40 times 50 times 60 sine C. I think I know what I did wrong. Did I use cos or sine in the previous one? I think I know why. I know why. I was like thinking, there we go, people. You should have picked up that mistake. I put sine instead of cos. That's what I thought. I was like, this number looks a bit weird. All right, let's get rid of that. That should have been cos. And there we go. That's better. Shift square root of 2100. There we go. That's better. I can't believe you folks just like let me do my mistake and just carry on with it. All right, so it's 45.83, and I am now going to store this as my alpha A. There we go. Because I looked at the number and I'm like, this number looks too small. Something doesn't feel right. There we go. 48.826. Nice. Cool, so what were we up to? We were up to sine of 60, right? That's how I picked up I did something wrong. So let's work out the area for this. So area is going to be 0.5 multiplied by 40 multiplied by 50 multiplied by sine 60. And so we are actually getting area of 866. Half BC sine, yep, that all looks good. So that's going to be 866.03, I think, what is it, meter squared? Yep, meter squared. I'm going to put meter squared there. Let me know if there's any issues with that so far. What I'll also do is I'm going to store this as alpha, I don't know, maybe G. Just going to write that down. Just so I know where all my values are stored, just for me to know that. Cool, let's work out the top triangle now. The top triangle is, I need to work out the area for that. So what I can do is each of more than 200. That's freaking annoying. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to work out the top triangle, right? So with the top triangle, I've got 36, I've got 55, and I've got the pipeline, which happens to be 45.83. And what I would like is I would like to figure out what this angle here is. So when I actually do this, when I want to figure out cos of the angle, or if I say cos of A equals B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2BC. Now this particular formula might not be given to you folks, so you might need to just rearrange your cosine formula. But again, that's just something you just need to know. So here we're going to call this little a, big A, B and C. And once again, we don't really care where we put the B and C, just need to make sure we put A in the right place. So cos of A equals 55 squared plus 36 squared minus 45.83 squared. Remember, that's that value that we stored as A, and then 2 times 55 times 36. So when we do this, we are going to get whatever that it's going to come out as. So let's just have a look. So I'm going to put this all in one nice line here. So 55 squared plus 36 squared minus, now 45.83, I put it as alpha A. So I'm going to put it alpha A squared and then divided by 2 times 55 times 36. And I'm getting 0.56 as cos A. So when I do A, I'm going to do A of inverse cos 0.56. So that's going to give me 55.85 degrees. Oh no, 8, yeah, 8, 9, no, 8 degrees. Nah, Sarah's gone, Kate. She came in for a short while. So, all right, so if we want to store this particular value, let's say you want to keep it somewhere safe, what we're going to do is we're going to click on this little arrow button here, and then we're going to click on alpha. I'm going to put this as, I don't know, like H. There we go. And I'm going to put a little note here to know that that's what I've stored that 55.88 as. So once I got that angle, now I want to work out the area of that top triangle. So to work out the area of top triangle, I am going to go area equals half AB sine C. And again, you know, I know that in the actual diagram we have letter A. So you can actually do this if you want. I mean, it's still the same thing, right? Because you can just go half C times B sine A. That's still going to give you the area of that particular triangle there. So when I do that, I'm going to get half times 36 times 55 multiplied by sine of 55.8 degrees. So doing this, I'm going to try and work it out. So I'm going to get 0.5 times 36 times 55 times sine of, I put 55.8 as alpha h. There we go. And that's going to give me area of 819.63 meters squared. And again, I'm going to store this as, I don't know, another letter, M maybe. Alpha M. There we go. All right, folks, I'm going to pause there. Like, do you have any questions with what I've done so far? Because all I've done is I've just worked out the area of those two triangles. I've just used cosine rule to find one of the sides and then use cosine rule again to find one of the angles. Cool. Now, the next part is when things are going to get a little bit trickier. Now, understanding how... Oh, no, wait. How to store values on a non-scientific calculator, please. Non-scientific calculator. Non-scientific. You're talking about scientific calculator, right, Gabriel? Because, like, scientific calculators has, like, one value that you can store. But it depends which model you have. Like the 8200 AU, that one has like a few letters you can store in. But I, off the top of my head, I can't remember what the newer ones are doing. Maxim, how did you folks do this question when it came to the last part? (82 ES plus). (82 ES plus). Ah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure in the 82. I've only got an 82 AU. That one, it's got like a store function there, but that's just for like one unit. That's a really good question, folks. Look, I'll be honest. It's like, I think it's a question that you might just want to double check with your maths teachers, because I know that some people get very pedantic with the rounding. Some people go like, oh, we need to have 3 decimal places. I don't want to give you false information. So just have a conversation with your teachers to figure out what it is that they're expecting for particular units. Yes, Gabriel, that's the one, the function store, but you only got one store you can do. You can't actually do more than one value, unfortunately, unless you've got like a couple of different letters. I didn't do this exact thing on space code. Okay, so now look, the thing is, the question is asking here is, I mean, if you look at it, what they're actually asking is that they want the shapes to be subdivided. They don't want triangles. So that's the first kind of annoying thing right here. They don't want triangles, but they also want each piece to be more than 400 meters squared. Now, my head, it's been one of these long days, so I'm not really thinking properly. So like the way I'm thinking is, could I do something like this? Right, so let me just show you folks. So this is what it looks like right now. Now, I know that the area for this shape here is 866. And the top one here is 819. Now I need to subdivide this so that it doesn't have a triangular shape. All right, so if that's the case, because I can't just split it like this, so I can't just go, oh, actually, tell you what, I'll just split that like that, and then I should be okay to go. But unfortunately, that's not going to work. The reason that's not going to work is because those four shapes are triangular shapes. So this is out. Also, they want each of the areas to be 400 as well, because if you look at it, it says, showing one possible way of dividing the land into 4 sections, each of more than 400 meters, but the sections, the buyer will not purchase if all the sections are triangular as well. So this is my interpretation. Of course, I could be completely wrong here, and you know, it is what it is. I can't really do anything about it. So my interpretation of this is what I would do in this situation. I would basically try and create a shape like this. Because I know that the two angles, so I know that this angle here is 55.88 degrees. This one here is 60 degrees. What I could do, and this is just me being a little bit cheeky about this, and I don't know if this is going to work or not. That's the only thing, right? Like I could actually, I don't think that's going to work. I just realized it won't work. Oh no, I know how to do this. We want it at least 400. What I could do, now I figured out, sorry. I could create a little shape like this and a shape like this from here. I don't know if this is that called sector or segment. I don't know what it is. But what you can now see is I've actually did I've kind of did it as 4 parts. Does that kind of make sense what I've done there? So this is going to be zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, and zone 4. Because I've actually subdivided by 4. But yeah, sector, thank you. I always stuff that up. Sector or segment, I don't know which one it is, but you're saying sector, so we're going to say Gabriel's got it right. So at the moment, what I've done is I've actually divided it into 4 kind of 4 parts, 4 parts that are not triangular, right? And what I need is each of them to be at least 400. So what I could do is, because the first one is 866, right? So this part right here is 866. So what I could do is I could actually go, I would like the inside area to be, I don't know, like 401, just to be on the safe side. And same with this one here, I want it to be 401. Because I think as long as the area is more than 400, it's okay. So if this is 401, this is going to be 465.03. And then zone 2 is going to be 418.63. Okay, I'm going to pause there. Let me know if that makes sense what I've done there. Because I've actually made sure I've met all the conditions. The conditions is that I need to split them into 4 subsections or subdivisions. But the subdivisions can't be triangles. So we don't have triangles. We've got like a sector, and then we've got a triangle minus a sector. So they're not triangular shape really. So is that okay? I need 1 yes, and then we can move on. Cool. Maxim said it's an interesting question, which means I'll actually accept it as he has understood this. Fantastic. All right. Zoe, I think I'm doing both at the same time. So I'm doing bullet point 2 and bullet point 3. Well, actually, no, bullet point 2 I've actually done already, because that's my demonstration right now. Right? My demonstration is that you could have zone 1 could be 401 up to 415, I think, zone 1, before it doesn't work. Why have I made the red lines curvy? That's a great question, Poster God. The reason I made the red lines curvy is because if you look at the part that's actually highlighted in yellow there, the sections, he will not buy the sections if the sections are triangular. So I'm assuming that's like triangle shaped. So that's why I'm going to go with a curvy shape, which is the sector. So that's what I'm trying to do there. Well, if they do a straight line, then wouldn't that be one of the shapes would be two of the shapes would be triangles? That's what my thinking is. That's why I decided not to go with a triangular shape. And again, like I said to you, this is my interpretation of this question. Your teacher might have a different interpretation of the question there. Yeah. All right. So in that case, what I'm going to do is I'll do the zone 4 first. So looking at zone 4. Zone 4, I would like the sector with 60 degrees and the area equal to 400. So if you look at it like this, area is equal to 401. Pi r squared is the area of this particular sector. I don't know what the radius is, and that's what I need to work out. But what I do know is I've actually got 60 out of 360. So that's the section. That's a section that I'm actually trying to calculate at the moment. So if that's the case, then it's just a matter of rearranging. So I've got 401 divided by 60 over 360, which equals to pi r squared. And I mean, I could actually take the pi as well. So 60 pi. And then what I can do now is I can just kind of work it out here. So I've got 401 divided by 60 pi. And that's over 360 as well, which gives me 765. And I take square root of that. So that's going to give me R of 27.67 meters. So remember that this length here, from here to here, is 40. But if I subdivide it at 27.67, then this zone right now, I'm going to highlight it here so you can kind of see it. This yellow zone is going to be worth 401. And that's what I find out here. So now I'm going to repeat the same process for the top one. So I've got 55.88 degrees. And once again, I would like the area to be 401. So that's this part right here. And because I'm like extremely lazy, I'm just going to use my calculator to work out the previous answer there. So I've got 401 divided by 55.88 over 360 pi r squared. And then r squared is equal to 401 divided by 55.88 pi divided by 360. Now remember, I did store that angle somewhere. There we go. That was angle H. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to my previous working out here. There it is. And I'm going to get rid of the 60 and replace it with alpha H, because I know that was that 55.88 degrees. So when I do this, I get 822, take the square root, and I get 28.67. So if I go back to 28.67, it should be the radius. So if I go here, this distance from here to here was 55. And then this one from here to here is 28.67. And what I've done is I've basically just shown a way in which this person can do a subdivision. So if I go back to my question, I need to divide this into 4 subdivisions, at least 400 meters squared for each area, and it can't be a triangular shape. And if you look at it, I've done both of those two things. So yeah, that's pretty much how I would have gone about solving this question. Like I said, your teachers might be doing it completely differently, and that's absolutely fine. Because this is one of those questions where you have like multiple end result answers on how you think about solving these types of questions. Yeah, Gabriel, I was scratching my head for a while trying to figure out how to do that, because I was like, what do they mean by triangular? I was trying to create like a trapezium shape, and then I was like, that doesn't work. And I was like, well, what else can I do? The only thing I can do is sectors, right? And then I was like, of course, sectors. That's when I figured out that actually I could divide this. Originally, the plan I was doing, the sector I was going to do was something like this, and then I realized that's not going to actually work. So originally, my plan that I was trying to do So in my head, I was trying to do something like this. And I was like, well, that's not going to work because that's actually going outside your zone. And then I had to kind of rethink it and go, okay, what if I do it this way? You could have also done it something like this. Like here and here like this. Where this is 401 and this is 401 as well. Nah, Maxim, I'm done for today because I've got about another 4 more videos to make for numeracy tonight, and I'm like been such a long day, so I'm done with this question. There's going to be level 2 graphs. Yes, H. Hi, I will be doing one, but just maybe we'll just see what the need is at the moment. I know that a lot of folks have asked for trig. Yeah, sorry, Maxim, I won't be able to help you with that. Can you do a question on like shapes make up triangles inside? Cyril, I'm not understanding your... Oh. Okay, I see. Can you turn this into a quadrilateral? Yes, you can, but the issue is how would you then divide it? I think you'll actually create a complex shape is what I'm thinking. Yeah, you could have done it, but I think you'll still have to do a lot more work. Yes, Cyril, with that one, all you got to do is just work out one of those triangles and just multiply it to whatever shape that you have. Because if it's like a hexagon, right? Like say for example you have an hexagon to work with, or like let's work with an octagon, right? And we think you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got like 8 triangles there. So remember that this is actually ends up being an isosceles triangle, because the length from the center, and as long as it's like a normal regular octagon, then it's fine. If it's an ugly looking octagon, then it's a little bit more trickier. For the regular one, you just work out what the area of this. You use half AB sine C. And remember that there's 8 subdivisions. So you would actually go 360 divided by 8. So whatever that is, that's 45. And then you just take the measurement from here. So it'll become like half r squared sine 45. And that's pretty much for any shape that you've got there. Yeah, Chloe, I think getting achieved merit should be fairly straightforward for trig. I think its excellence is when you've got to start thinking a little bit more, like I did. I mean, it It took me a bit of time to understand what they were asking in this question, but I think once I got it, I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of starting to make sense. Sorry, Maxim. No, man, I've honestly, I've had such a long day and I need to finish these other 4 videos because my year 10 classes need those videos. So I've got to get them out and ready. Apologies. Zoe, I think if you answer right to the end, I mean, again, I need to look at the answer schedule for this, but I mean, it looks like a very easy excellence question from where I stand. So, but at least I think if you find the areas and prove this part here, like that, at least drawing the 2 curved areas and kind of putting it, I would say that should get you a merit at least. And then the final part should get you an excellence, but I don't know. I haven't actually marked trig in a very long time. Madri, I'm sorry. It's very hard because the thing is, it's not like these papers are available online that I can just go have a look and make these questions up. So it's usually I just kind of wait around till somebody sends me, and then if I have time, I do them. Yeah, it's just one of these situations where somebody sent me a question last week and I said I'll get it done. But it's just, look, ultimately you've got to be able to use your use those equations that you have. I mean, that's all it comes down to, right? Well, I'm talking about practice questions here, Sidel. Please don't send me the assessment questions because I'll get into trouble. But I don't know what they are. I can't really do anything about it. But I mean, if you send me like this person just sent me this question here, I did it. And I think last week that was actually done online. And then last week I pulled up a question that I had. So I just did that on my own because that was like from my old stuff. Yeah, so anyway, that's it for me today, folks. So if you do have your trig tomorrow, good luck. Let me know how it goes. What else? Hang on. Yeah, I think my main thing that I would say to you guys is just make sure that you can use that storage function for your values, because it helps you a lot. So it avoids that whole rounding error, right? So just keep storing your values in the calculator and just kind of use that from there. Yes, Adele, the practice ones are fine. You can just flick me over the practice ones. Like basically my schedule at the moment is at 8 o'clock, maybe try and help you guys for a little while and then continue working on my numeracy videos after that. All right, so they should give you the, like, I mean, I've, like, as far as I heard, that I think people should be giving you the formulas. Zoe, the reason I did that was because the question actually said, hang on, where's the question? I think if you look at that blue line there, show one possible way of dividing the land into 4 sections, each of more than 400. Because 401 is more than 400. That's why I decided to go with 401. That was all my thinking was, because I was like, okay, so they do provide formula sheets. There you go. That helps answer that question. Because like I said, I haven't done, trig I haven't done an internal in a long time. Yeah, I think I would say so too, but like I think I always play it safe. That's why I kind of like keep storing my values so that I can just kind of work through that and not stress too much about it. Isn't done that. Okay. I wouldn't. Could you make the other section 401 and the one you worked on the rest of the area of this? Yes. So I think what you're trying to ask me is this. What if you had made zone 2 401? Is that correct? Is that what you were trying to ask me there? Hang on, let me just do something here. Ah, stupid thing. Oh, this is nice and better. Yeah, sorry, Zoe, to answer your question, kind of moving a couple of things around. Yes, so you could have actually changed zone 2 to 401 and then change zone 1 to 418.63 and do the whole calculation again, and that should work as well. That should definitely work because you're still meeting the constraint of each section is more than 400 meters squared. Yes, it'll be uploaded straight away. Once I stop the stream, it'll get uploaded straight away and you should be able to watch it from the beginning. Yeah, Tamas, for achieved, I think it's generally the safe bet is 3 skills. So you want to be able to find an angle, side, and possibly an area or a length or something like that. All right. So folks, look, that's me. I'm going to try and see if I can work with the level 3s tomorrow with the trig. Have a good night. Good luck practicing for these ones. But yeah, I think don't be like me making that stupid mistake right at the start. I had written cos 60 for the formula, but when I put it in the calculator, I put sine 60, which was really silly, but you know, that just happens. And like, as I said, like as long as you show you're working, and you show all the steps, if you do make a minor mistake, sometimes they're a bit lenient, but as long as you show you're working, right? Don't just write the answers. That's like really kind of stuffs you up, especially with internal. I think if I don't know, maybe they changed the rules. Is it still the rules that you can only resub for achieved? Is that right, or is that something that I heard down the whisper? But anyway, whatever the case. Okay, so you can only resub for achieved. Oh, glad to help. That's fine, Frantic. Okay, well, yeah, there you go. So you just want to make sure that you can try and answer as many of these questions as possible just to save you a bit of grief. All right, folks, that's me. Thank you so much. I think depending on what you guys do next week, like whether we continue with trig or maybe we do coordinate geometry or graphs, we'll see how that goes. Joe, yeah, any live streams, every live stream that I do, Joe, it'll get saved. So don't stress about it. Once I stop the video, it should pop up in the feed. Yeah. Now, Sidel, I don't think, like with radians, you can almost do this entire paper without radians. Like, I mean, it's just a unit, but you can actually do it without it. Will you go through the assessment later? No, but I can't because I don't have a copy of the assessment and copyright issues and stuff like that. So, yeah. No, I don't think you'll have many. I doubt it, but the only thing that you might need to keep in mind is arc length. I mean, maybe for that it'll help. But apart from that, even arc length, I think you can do it with degrees anyway. So you should be fine. Right, leaving you with that. Take care. Let me know how things go. Will I do another live stream? Yes, just not sure on what topic and how do we do that. Leo, there's a playlist on my channel. Go check it out. There should be enough there. All right, take care, guys. See you later.